Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am here today with another video that I just said because I recently got into a situation of finances, and I think a question a lot of people ask whether you are a babysitter or nanny is how much should I charge and how to figure all of that out. So I will say that I need to scoot back a little bit because I'm really close. I will say that you can use sources like care.com to figure it out. However, they aren't fully accurate, and care.com, I used it, the calculating rate, I think calculator rate for my nanny job, and it was just way too much money. I'm like, I don't think anybody could afford to pay $14 an hour. Some of it's a little obscured and out there, so I wouldn't necessarily go about it like that. But if you want to see what care.com says about how much you should charge for your area, then you can definitely do that. But I think there are other ways we can figure out how much we should be charging. So let's talk about babysitters first, because I think nannies are a little bit of a different story. But with babysitters, you guys probably are really young. You probably don't have bills to pay. Um, the most you might, once get your driver's license, you might have to pay off a car. Some of you might have to pay off your phone bill. That's fine. Whatever your situation is, it's important to look at where your money goes. So for young people, I would definitely look at like coffee, for example. How many days a week do you get coffee, and how much do you spend in a week on coffee? And then add that up in a month. How much are you spending a month on coffee? Um, I think you should also look at food. I really drew a blank right there. Um, how often do you go out to eat and get fast food, and how much do you spend? For me personally, I love Taco Tuesday, and I have a problem, and I should probably get help for it. But I get tacos every Tuesday, and then I get their breakfast stuff on Sundays because I will not be able to teach my class if I do not have a breakfast burrito in my stomach. Um, so that's things I need to consider as well. You would do the same thing. You would look at how much money you spend on food in a week and then in a month, and see what that total ends up being. For babysitters, it's a little bit easier because, again, you guys don't have bills to pay that I know of. I mean, if you are getting some financial responsibility, great. Um, but yeah, for you guys, I would just definitely look at where your money goes towards food, um, drinks, so coffee, and then probably entertainment too. How often do you go out to a movie or treat yourself too? That's another thing. So like entertainment and treating yourself. How much money do you want to spend on that? How much money do you usually spend on that? Um, it's all math that you have to figure out. So now nannies, and you guys charge by hour. Sorry, babysitters usually charge by hour, and so for me, my babysitting rate is $10 an hour because that's kind of what it is up here. And honestly, it's not that bad. And if you get somebody like once or twice a week, and you're only there for like 4 hours, you're not doing too bad, really. Really, excuse me. So yeah. Also clothes. How much money do you spend on clothes? The same thing applies with nannies, but nannies should be charging per day because per hour is too long. Nannies work full days. For me, my nanny job is Monday through Thursday if everything is okay and we're still a go for that. Um, so my nanny job is Monday through Thursday, 6:30 a.m. to possibly 6:30 at night or 6 o'clock at night. So that's a huge chunk of my time. I need to look at the important stuff that I need to pay. So my number one payment that I have to make is on my car. which is a couple hundred a month. And then another thing, and I don't think people realize this, is how much money do you spend on medication? So for girls, how much money do you spend on your birth control, acne medicine? For me, I with my birth control, it's not covered by my insurance. Grr. Um and I do a 3 month supply, so it's actually a lot more. And then I'm on a pill for my acne, and then I just started a topical gel for my acne as well. So those two things are my top priorities, and since getting medication every few months is a regular thing, I have to keep that in mind. And obviously, paying a car payment every month is a regular thing. So that's a whole lot of money right there. I'll just tell you that. Especially if you don't have insurance or your insurance doesn't cover a certain thing. So there's that you have to look into. Again, food, drinks, entertainment, treating yourself. Um, Obviously, if you're a nanny, you have kids, like, you got to consider that because kids are expensive. Um, you have to consider the products that you use too. So for me, I'm trying to back out of makeup as much as possible just to clear up my skin. I'm really gonna only try to go to using makeup for like certain events or something. I don't want to wear it every day because I did not realize how damaging makeup is to my skin personally. So that's a whole thing. But I'm really into skincare. And because I just started a new medication and I saw a dermatologist not that long ago, like a week ago actually, there's actually certain products that I need to use on my skin. So I need to look into that. Some of you might have to do that too, just certain products that work for your skin type. Um, I have to. So for me, like my skincare routine consists of, and you guys can watch that in my morning or nighttime routine video. It consists of a cleanser, a moisturizer, a mask, and then a like gel that absorbs excess oil. And the mask and the gel aren't that important to me in my skincare, but um, I have to add sunscreen now because of the medication I'm on. So looking at all of those little things and then adding it up and seeing, what you spend on it. Um, for me, I'm like a bulk buyer, bulk bulk buyer, and God, that's really hard to say. I like to make sure I'm stocked up on things. Another thing is for any girl out there, period supplies. How much do you spend on period supplies? How much is it to buy pads and tampons? Buy wipes and stuff like that. It's all relevant. And also, like, pads and tampons are really expensive. So, and that's a normal thing that you have to buy, every couple of months or, every month because you get your period every month. That's just a fact. Um, you have to look at like hair products. I used to love Lush. Sorry, there's birds flying outside the window. I'm distracted. I used to buy Lush and I like to buy things that are sulfate and silicone free just because of my hair type. And I realized that a lot of Lush products have sulfates in them. And if you guys know, sulfates can actually strip the natural oils of your hair and making it more dry and needing more moisture when probably it really doesn't need to do that. And silicones give you amazing slip in the shower, but it does not help with anything. It literally just coats your hair to have good slip. So it's all that stuff that you guys have to think about of where does your money go every month. And that would be the first thing to figure out on how much you should charge. Ask around. I've never done nannying before, so I had to ask somebody. One of my friends was making bank off of a family. Um, but again, she's older than me, and I don't know at the time if she had a kid or she was pregnant with her kid, but of course she had bills to pay, house bills and um, car bills and stuff like that. So it's every, month, um, seeing maybe if you can back off on some of like the products you use or how often you eat. Um, that's an option too. That's something you can look at, and I really do suggest starting a Word document and writing down, okay, this is what I do for not oil, oral care. This is the products I use, and this is how much it costs. This is what I do for hair care. This is what I do for feminine care, and really break it down like that. And yeah, I would just ask around because everybody charges differently. Um, I will say, and please keep this in mind, you guys, charge what you're worth, not what other people think you should be charging. A lot of people, especially up here, love, love, love cheap or free childcare. Um, Parents need to really understand that the money that they give to you is money for like your living, you know? For me, when I'm in basically director season, which is August through November, we have really tight times lines of like when we need to show up to the school and stuff like that. So it's important that I'm able to have enough money to get fast food and go to the high school when I'm needed. Um, in the spring, it's not usually a huge deal, but since now I babysit on Tuesday 11 to 3 and then I did have rehearsals at 4:30, I still needed to eat between 3 and 4:30. So I needed money on Tuesday to get food, to make it through rehearsals because the kids eat at 11 o'clock in the morning and that is way too early for me to eat. So my biggest advice is babysitters, you can charge hourly. I wouldn't go more than $20 an hour. I even think $20 an hour is pushing it, but I think a solid 10 hours without like thinking about how many kids you're watching is pretty fair. Um, because honestly, if somebody's like, I don't think parents can afford that, I totally had that happen, and that's why I just did that. Um, it's like, well, then either don't go out with your kid, don't go out, or, you know, don't use me, whatever. Like, you have to make money too. So, again, parents need to understand that, like, you need money to make a living. Um, and I've really thought about this because I was in my little financial situation. And I was like, how stupid is it that we live off of green paper? Like, that green paper says how successful we're going to be if we get in debt or not. I just think that's so like stupid, but like whatever. So, and nannies, you should be charging by the day just because hours are long, but definitely just ask around. And again, the main thing here is to figure out where your money goes and how much you need to be making a month. So, I know this video was all over the place, just like my other videos, but I hope that helps you guys. I'm actually going to write up mine here in a second, my like monthly financial plan or whatever, and I can totally share that with you guys if you're interested, so you guys can see a little bit more. Um, have an actual visual of how to make one. I know my resume video got a lot of views on it, so I am gonna let you guys go. I hope you guys all have a great week and weekend, and